The Crowhollow SMP is my fantasy Minecraft roleplay server, full of tons of epic lore, characters, and much more. In this video, I'm going to be summarizing the lore from Crowhollow streams 6 through 10. If you haven't seen my previous lore synopsis video, I encourage you to check it out with the link in the description so that you can get a better understanding of the Crowhollow lore. The team and I work so hard making the best content that we can, so we really appreciate the amazing support from all of you. And finally, before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more awesome content coming soon. Thank you so much everyone, and I hope you enjoy the video. Ever since a mysterious wither skull appeared in Crowhollow, Hanna has been sacrificing gold to it in order to protect her city from destruction. The wither skull began using her love of gold to slowly manipulate her, turning her against her friends. It offers Hanna an entire city made of gold once it regains its full power. But in order to regain its power, it needs her to bring it gold. Near the end of Lore Stream 5, Hanna, in her anger, kills her old friend WaterMuffin by pushing him off the tower he was building, because he kinda stole her gold. This officially begins her villain arc. She burns the tower shortly afterwards, then goes to WaterMuffin's vault in Oakhart, where she finds a letter from him saying that he's leaving Crowhollow. Hanna heads back to Crowhollow and finds her enemy Glow there. Long story short, Hanna and Glow form an uneasy alliance, and together they travel to Melon City, where a festival is being held. That is where Hanna sees the mysterious figure who looks strikingly similar to Percy, which leads us to... Hanna speaks to the figure who introduces himself as Orion. Hanna finds him to be a little suspicious, so she quickly ends the conversation and goes to find Glow. She goes to Glow and tells him about the strange person she saw who looked almost exactly like PercyVerance, but with differently colored hair and wings. Suddenly, they hear the sorcerer LUMEN'S voice.
Hello, Tom! Oh my god, just a sorcerer!
Hanna, recognizing Lumen, runs and hides in an empty building. Glow finds her, and Hanna tells him about how Lumen threw a trident at her once. When Glow asked why, she mentions that she kind of stole gold from him in the past and ran away without giving it back. Suddenly, Lumen walks in. Lumen seems friendly enough and introduces them to his husband Shroomu. He invites them to come out and enjoy the festival. Hanna reluctantly agrees to avoid causing trouble. They talk for a bit, and Lumen begins telling them about the Melon City Festival and how they burn gold to the sacred melon. Hanna notices Ryan watching them and feels uncomfortable. She walks away and goes to the top of a melon hill alone. She begins talking to herself and ponders the choices she's made. She tries to justify her actions against WaterMuffin by saying that he deserved what he got for stealing her gold.
So that's why you killed WaterMuffin.
What are you doing here, Glow?
I've never really trusted anyone. I've honestly just gone solo my entire life because I know that I can't depend on anyone. So, I've been pretty lonely all my life. But I was thinking that possibly, and just maybe, we could be friends.
Before Hanna can fully answer, JBoy jumps out at them and says that he's come for revenge. He begins attacking Glow. Hanna hesitates, then jumps in between Glow and JBoy. She yells at JBoy to stop hurting Glow.
You're not the same Hanna I used to know.
You're right. I'm not. She attacks JBoy with her sword and he runs away, more out of shock than anything else. As Hanna and Glow head back to the festival, they run into Ryan. Ryan asks if they know anyone by the name PercyVerance. He, very suspiciously, tells them that Percy is a friend. Glow nervously says that they do in fact know Percy. Sensing an opportunity, Ryan asks if he can talk about some private business with both of them sometime later. He says it's very important and that things are about to start getting chaotic. He throws flint and steel at them and leaves. Once he's gone, Glow confronts Hanna, saying that he thinks she's keeping a lot of secrets from him. They get into an argument. Hanna angrily says that yes, she does keep secrets from Glow because he betrayed her in the past.
You also betrayed me, and you will never understand that!
I've betrayed a lot of people. Hanna eventually apologizes and says that she just doesn't know what to do now after she killed WaterMuffin, betrayed JBoy, and lost Percy.
Look me straight in the eyes. Who do you have left?
You.
Exactly. So why are you pushing me away?
Hanna notices Ryan watching them again, and they go to talk to him. Glow asks Ryan to tell them specifically what he wants from them. Ryan avoids answering at first and tells them that he was listening to them talk and he knows how they feel. Both of them have been cast aside, thrown away by people they trusted. He then goes on to reveal that Ryan is in fact a code name and that he is actually the clone of PercyVerance. Hanna and Glow are shocked. Ryan continues on.
The way I see it, we were all cast aside. I was cast aside for Golden Boy, Golden Boy Percy. You know what? I say they're welcome to burn. The people that cast you aside.
Hanna realizes what he means.
They deserve it. They cast you aside. They threw you away.
Hanna and Glow enthusiastically agree.
Oh man. This is the start of a beautiful, beautiful friendship.
Indeed.
A trio, per se. What should we call this trio?
How about the Power Trio?
And with that, the Power Trio is officially formed. Later that day, Hanna takes a walk alone, secretly trying to decide whether she actually wants to be a part of the Power Trio or not. Suddenly, she hears the voice of the Wither Skull calling her name. Hanna tries to figure out where the voice is coming from, then realizes that the voice of the skull is emanating from the sacred melon itself. Then the realization hits her. The festival, the burning of gold, and the soul fire, the 3 Wither Skulls that Lumen told her about. Hanna burns gold to the melon, and when she sees that nobody is watching, breaks it to reveal the second Wither Skull.
There is 3, but we are 1.
The skull tells her that she'll get the city of gold she wants, as long as she keeps her alliance with it. The skull says that there is a person trying to take away the opportunity for her future city of gold, and it wants her to kill this person. Kill? You never mentioned anything about actually killing people. You just said I need to bring you gold. It then begins to bribe and manipulate her until she finally agrees to do the mission. Fine. I'll do whatever it takes. For Crowhollow. For my city of gold. Hanna is traveling through the desert on her mission from the Wither Skull. She nears the place the Wither Skull told her to go and is shocked to see that it is Percy's house. She figures that perhaps someone took over the house after Percy died. Then she heads inside to investigate. Wait, what was that? Percy? Percy, you're alive? Percy reveals that he faked his own death when Glow was trying to kill him. They talk for a bit, and Percy shows Hanna to the guest room so she can rest. Hanna wonders why the skull sent her to kill someone here. Why did it send me to kill someone here? Like, it wouldn't send me to kill Percy, I know that for sure. Hanna finally gets some sleep. The next morning, Percy greets her and says that he needs to take his llama, Egg, for a walk. Hanna goes with him to the beach, where he ties Egg to a fence post. Percy tells her the story of how Glow tried to kill him a few times and how he and JBoy got imprisoned after Hanna left them without warning. He asks her why she left. I kinda had to go back to Crowhollow. There was something important I had to do there that I forgot about, I guess. Percy forgives her, and Hanna quickly changes the subject. They head back to Percy's house and have a picnic in the garden. After eating some cake, Hanna notices the gravestones on Percy's fountain and becomes suspicious. She asks about what happened, but Percy avoids answering. They head back to the picnic, and Percy talks a little bit about his past. Hanna is uneasy, and Percy sends her inside to get more food from the kitchen. Once inside, Hanna wonders about Percy's strange behavior and the gravestones. Percy's never done anything to hurt anyone. He's completely innocent. I think the skulls wouldn't send me here to kill Percy, would they? Suddenly, she hears the voice of the Wither Skull calling her. Following the skull's voice, she finds a secret passage leading to an underground room with a portal in the third Wither Skull. Hanna and the Wither Skull talk, and the skull reveals that her target is indeed Percy. Hanna tries to argue that Percy is innocent and doesn't deserve death, but the skull tells her that he's torn apart families and is a murderer. It convinces her that Percy has been manipulating her and has been trying to take away her opportunity for a city of gold. Hanna realizes that she has to kill Percy because it's the only way to get what she wants. She leaves the Wither Skull and goes to find Percy, who is in his garden. Why did you lie to me?
What do you mean? I've been as honest as I can.
Percy, you've betrayed people. I know
what do you mean? I haven't betrayed anyone.
Oh, really? Well, I don't know if I can trust what you say. You betrayed me. You lied to me. You hid all of this from me.
The Wither Skulls? They're bad, Hanna.
You do know about them, then. I really thought so, and that means that you are the one that I'm meant to kill.
And you're the pet to replace me, I guess.
Percy places obsidian in the doorway and escapes through his secret passage. Hanna tries to follow him, going through multiple traps. In the maze, she finds a book written by Percy telling the story of how he was lured into working for the Wither Skulls because they lied and told him that they were trying to save the world. She continues through some more traps and notices Percy's name tag on the floor below her. Then she finds some hidden scaffolding and goes down it. But as she does so, Percy breaks the scaffolding and she falls into a pit, trapped. It's helping me. It's helping me get a city of gold. And you are trying to ruin my future!
Hanna, just calm down.
I have to do this, Percy.
I'm not using you or anything.
You have been using me this whole time. From day one, I knew there was something about you.
I used you? Do you know what it's like to be used?
Percy loses his temper. He leaves Hanna in the pit surrounded by obsidian and pulls a lever, setting off a series of explosions. He then escapes. Suddenly, Hanna hears Glow's voice. He appears and helps her get out of the pit, explaining that he's been secretly following her the whole time. She tells him that Percy tried to kill her. Hanna and Glow head to the surface to see a gigantic crater. The ruins have been destroyed, but the Wither Skull still remains, having somehow survived the explosion. But as more explosions start going off, Hanna and Glow are forced to run away, and they escape. Stream 8 begins with an opening cutscene showcasing a glimpse of the Wither Skull ritual, which we'll talk more about later on. When the cutscene ends, Hanna and Glow arrive back at Crowhollow, exhausted and starving. They eat and gather supplies. Suddenly, they come across an armored figure who reveals himself to be Ryan. Hanna and Glow follow Ryan, who takes them to his base, into the Power Trio meeting room. They begin planning to take down their enemies, starting with JBoy, who also has Glow's special armor. But in order to have a chance at defeating JBoy, who was a general of Cube City, they need to prepare. The Power Trio head back to Crowhollow for more supplies and to check and make sure JBoy isn't there. They split up and agree to meet back at nightfall. Hanna nears the Wither Skull Pavilion, noticing that it has changed drastically. Suddenly, everything begins to hurt and Hanna blacks out. She wakes up gasping a few moments later, and she has been transformed. Hanna now wears a pure gold dress and crown. The skull explains that it gifted her some of its power, which is now running through her veins. Hanna is in awe. Ryan and Glow run up to her and ask what happened. She introduces the skull to her new friends. Glow pulls Hanna to the side to talk with her. Hanna tries to explain that the skulls have been helping her. She tells him that they're her closest friends and that he can trust them. Glow is concerned, however, and finds the whole situation to be odd. He reminds her that he promised to make her a golden city, that she's trusting some creepy skulls more than her friend. Hanna starts to retort back, but Glow says they should head out and go find JBoy. Hanna calls Ryan over and the trio sets off. As they walk, Glow and Hanna continue arguing about the skulls. Suddenly, Ryan tells them to be quiet. From the hill, they can see JBoy near a portal. JBoy looks up and sees them. The trio ambush and try to surround him. They begin fighting. Hanna sees Ryan trying to kill JBoy and begs him to stop so they can get information from him. JBoy refuses to obey them. He is outnumbered, however, and the trio begins to taunt him. Just then, PercyVerance flies in. He drops potions down on the trio, preventing them from seeing anything. The next thing they know, JBoy and Bronze have vanished. Hanna lashes out at Ryan and Glow and blames them for JBoy's escape. The trio begin fighting with each other. Finally, Hanna stops them, saying they'll get nowhere by standing around arguing. She asks Ryan about Bronze. Ryan tells them that PercyVerance is the brother of PercyVerance, Crown Prince of Willway. He adds that Percy is a manipulator and a liar. Glow is stunned, then says that Hanna was right all along, and he forgives her. The trio think about what to do next, and Ryan suggests that they go to Willway. Since both Bronze and Percy are gone, the kingdom is in a fragile state, and they can take advantage of that. The three of them then set off for Willway, repairing the broken portal and heading into the Nether. While they prepare for their journey, Glow begins singing, which annoys the others.
99 bottles of pop on the wall, 99 bottles of pop. Take one down, pass it around. 98 bottles of pop on the wall, 99,900.
Finally, Ryan has enough and pushes Glow off the bridge into lava.
Take one down, pass it around. 99,997 bottles of pop.
Glow, if you don't be quiet this second, you're going into the lava. Oh. Ryan, what did you... Ryan!
Glow dies, losing his first canon life. When he respawns, he's a little different. Hanna doesn't appear to notice at first.
Can I get a life back? Is that possible? That could have been my last life, Ryan. I could have been completely dead just because you thought I was being annoying.
Well, you're not dead, so...
Things are pretty tense between Ryan and Glow, so Hanna decides that it's best if they wait until the next day to leave. She then goes to prepare for the journey to Willway. The power trio travel through the Nether and finally reach Willway. They head into the city. Hanna notices gold blocks everywhere, and Ryan shrugs and tells her that gold is basically like pebbles in Willway. As they travel through the city, Ryan mentions that strangely he doesn't see anybody around, and that it's not usually like a ghost town. They head up another elevator into the castle. Scintilla appears and recognizes Ryan. At first, she greets him excitedly, but then Ryan acknowledges her, calling her Ginger, and suddenly they both start acting cold to one another. Hanna asks what's going on, but they don't really give much insight. She then says that they wish to speak to whoever is in charge while the prince is gone. Scintilla takes them inside the castle into the throne room, where they meet the greedy and pompous Duke, Magnus Barrington. Hanna introduces them, and the Duke asks what they're doing in Willway. Ryan jumps in and says they're just looking for a place to stay. The Duke orders Scintilla to show them to their rooms, but then realizes that it's dinner time. The trio agree to join the Duke for the meal. Scintilla serves them a dinner of pork and stew, the Duke's favorite. After they've eaten, Scintilla escorts them to their rooms. Hanna pulls Glow and Ryan aside to talk privately while Scintilla stands watch outside by the portal. Hanna excitedly tells Ryan and Glow of her plan to take over Willway and become Empress over an entire realm of gold. But to do that, she says they'll need some help. The other two agree and follow her lead. They exit the room, and Hanna walks over to Scintilla and asks for her name. Scintilla introduces herself as the head servant and the court nurse. Hanna then asks about the Duke, and Scintilla says that Duke Magnus Barrington is only in charge because he killed the man that Bronze had appointed before leaving. She says that she's just been waiting for Bronze to get back and trying not to get killed. Hanna then tells Scintilla that the Power Trio came to Willway merely to kill the Duke and end his reign of terror. And in order for their plan to work, they need Scintilla's help. Scintilla hesitates but agrees to help them. Glow then announces that he's made a song.
I made a song! 99 gold bars on the wall, 99 gold bars. One down, and around, 98 gold on the wall.
Glow, be careful!
Bars on the wall.
Ryan chases Glow around the room. Scintilla tries to tell him to stop.
You don't control me, Ginger. Let's get that straight.
Ryan heads into his room. Hanna asks if she can talk to Scintilla in private, and Scintilla leads her to her room in the kitchen. Scintilla tells Hanna what she knows about Ryan's past. She explains that Ryan was an assassin for a cult, and they met after he was trying to tend his wounds after a job. She thought he was Prince PERCY'S at first because he had not yet dyed his hair from purple to brown. They became friends after she helped heal him. But then one day, Ryan refused to kill someone for a mission, and the cult decided to put a chip in his head because they had spent too much time on the clone already. Ever since then, Ryan was like a different person, a killer. Scintilla begs Hanna to be careful around this Ryan because she doesn't know what he's capable of. Hanna is stunned. They go on to talk about PercyVerance, and Hanna remarks that she found out he was a pretty bad person when he tried to kill her. Scintilla wonders how she could possibly have met him since Prince PERCY'S is dead. Hanna gives her a description of Percy, and everything seems to match except for the color of his hair and wings, which Scintilla claims were purple and gold. They talk for a bit about the Verance family, but then Scintilla seems to grow a bit uncomfortable and says they should head back to check on Glow and Ryan. She then adds that Hanna is helping Willway more than she knows. Hanna heads to her room and goes to sleep. The next morning, they wake up and decide to go out that day to gain the trust of the citizens of Willway. But before they can leave, Glow goes back into his room. Hanna follows him, noticing he's been acting weird. Glow is upset about losing a life and says that Ryan doesn't care about them. Hanna admits that she doesn't really trust Ryan either, but once they've achieved their goals, they can leave and never have to see Ryan again. She also promises to Glow that if Ryan ever tries to hurt him, she will protect him, even if it means killing Ryan.
I will protect you. I will kill him if I have to.
Hanna and Glow leave to rejoin the others. They head to have breakfast with the Duke so that they won't seem suspicious. Scintilla serves their meal, bacon as always. The Duke tells them that the food in Willway is growing short since there hasn't been an official monarch since the invasion that happened 10 months before. Bronze being in the kingdom helped, but the land kept slowly wilting. That's why they've only been eating pork. After the meal, the trio head into the town to gain the support of the citizens. They search the city but can find no one around except piglins. Eventually, they give up and head back to the castle, feeling as though something is off. Scintilla leads them to dinner with the Duke and serves them pork chops. She then adds that the Duke has proposed a special toast and gives the trio each a glass of lemonade. The three of them drink it, and everything goes black. A cutscene plays set in Willway 10 months before. Magnus Barrington forces Prince PERCY'S through a dark passage with the help of a pillager. They arrive in the ritual room filled with pillagers chanting an eerie song.
What is the place?
Great.
And there, PercyVerance is sacrificed to rise the 3 Wither Skulls. The flashback ends, and Hanna and the power trio wake up trapped in the ritual room. The Duke stands on the other side of the iron bars. He begins a speech, telling them about his villainous plan. He even mentions that he placed a curse on the citizens of Willway, turning them into piglins so that he could be supplied with a colossal amount of bacon. Yep, that actually happened. The Duke continues on and tells them that he plans to sacrifice them to the Wither Skulls, just like he did to Prince PercyVerance.
You Slavans get the honor of being sacrificed to the greatest deities in all the realms, the divine Wither Skulls.
What? The Duke selects Hanna to go first since she is the most gold-covered. Hanna panics and tries to explain that she's helping the Wither Skulls and that they're her friends. Suddenly, the Wither Skull speaks. The Duke is in awe and goes to the portal to listen. The Wither Skull tells him that Hanna is its chosen one, and while the Duke is distracted, Hanna runs up from behind and attacks the Duke, sending him flying into the portal. The Duke dramatically dies and the power trio escape. They celebrate their victory and go to complete their takeover of Willway. When they get back above ground, they see that Bronze has returned to the city. The trio surround him. Hanna tells Bronze that she is the new ruler of Willway since she killed the Duke. They plan to imprison Bronze, and Ryan leads them into the castle. Inside, they hear Scintilla shouting for help and find her locked in a closet. She claims that she didn't know their drinks were laced with sleeping potion and the Duke trapped her in the closet because she tried to help them when they fell to the ground. Hanna orders Scintilla to take them to the prison. Scintilla is confused, and Hanna reveals that she lied, and her true intentions all along were to take over Willway and become queen.
Like Glow said, gold is better than bronze. Now where's the prison?
The trio force Bronze into the prison, Scintilla reluctantly helping them. Before he falls into the cell, Bronze secretly slips Scintilla a letter. Hanna notices it and demands that Scintilla give it to her. Scintilla runs away, and the trio chase her into a corner. Give me it now, or I'll have to take it from your dead body. Scintilla laughs. She tells Hanna that her life was pretty much already taken from her by PercyVerance. Scintilla was a duchess once, a winged fairy. But then PercyVerance cut off her wings, therefore taking her status away. She spits that Hanna is just like PercyVerance and throws Bronze's letter at Hanna's feet. The trio force Scintilla to swear loyalty to them, which she does begrudgingly. Hanna sits in the throne and opens Bronze's letter. She reads it aloud. The trio then realize that their enemies have formed a resistance against them. Hanna, Ryan, and Glow plan to travel to the coordinates on the letter. A cutscene plays, showing Hanna in the castle throne room. She gives a speech to a crowd of piglins, announcing her new role as Empress.
I will be the best ruler that Willway has ever seen. And that, my friends, is a promise.
And with that, the power trio officially take over the kingdom of Willway. Lore Stream 10 opens with a cutscene that starts with clips of WaterMuffin and Hanna's past friendship, from Cube City to Crowhollow to ultimately his death at her hands. It then shows him traveling to the abandoned city of ESTERDALE, which is where he went after his death. The cutscene ends and transitions to the power trio's arrival in ESTERDALE. They start to explore around, but then Hanna spots WaterMuffin watching them from the roof of a building. They greet each other snidely. Hanna asks WaterMuffin to show them around, which he does reluctantly. He tells them a bit about ESTERDALE and that he grew up there. He also mentions that the city has been abandoned and he's the only one there. Night has fallen. Hanna asks WaterMuffin to show them a place where they can stay and get some rest. WaterMuffin leads the trio to a house and bids them goodnight. Once WaterMuffin is gone, Hanna holds a meeting with the other members of the power trio to discuss their plans. Ryan suggests that they just kill WaterMuffin, but Hanna grows uneasy and refuses to let that happen. She adds that anyways, they need to get as much information as they can about the resistance that has been forming right under their noses. The others agree, and Hanna goes to get some sleep. Ryan, who doesn't need sleep, keeps watch. A cutscene plays. Percy is dreaming, walking down a path surrounded by soulfire. At the end of the path, sitting on a throne, is PercyVerance. Percy, who is in Esterdale, wakes up. The cutscene ends. Hanna has woken up, and she, Glow, and Ryan head outside. They meet up with WaterMuffin and head into the tea shop for breakfast. Ryan suggests that they go tour the big building in Esterdale that WaterMuffin avoided showing them the day before. WaterMuffin starts acting suspicious, and they confront him about it. He hesitates, then finally agrees to show them the palace. On the way there, Glow and Ryan argue back and forth with each other. Hanna warns Glow again to not get on Ryan's bad side because they still need his help. They arrive at the palace. WaterMuffin shows them around the giant building, and the trio is in awe. Hanna even secretly mines a bit of gold from it. As they wrap up their tour of the palace, Ryan asks about the door near the entrance. WaterMuffin grows uneasy and tells them it's just a training room. The trio enter, and Ryan excitedly challenges Glow to a sparring match. Glow panics and Ryan chases him around the room. Suddenly, Hanna notices a weird lever hidden in the wall. She flips it, opening the door to the resistance base. WaterMuffin runs and sets off the alarm. Hanna thinks it could be a trap and tells the others that they have to find a way out. They head into the escape elevator, but when they hit the lever to go down, they fall into a jail cell and are trapped. In the cell, Hanna finds a book addressed to her from Percy. She reads it aloud. In the book, Percy tells her of their plan to defeat the Witherskulls once and for all, and that once everything is over with, perhaps he could move to Crowhollow and they could start a garden. Hanna is furious. The power trio scream for Percy to show himself. His name tag appears above them, but he refuses to go any closer. The trio try mining the roof, but the blocks are immediately replaced. They are stuck. Percy attempts to talk to them. He tries to tell them that the skulls are lying to them and are evil. Hanna refuses to believe him. Percy eventually gives up and leaves. The trio frantically try to escape and find a weakness in the wall. They swim in and crawl through a pipe until they escape near the front of the palace. JBoy emerges from inside, ready for battle. Hanna yells at them to run, but Ryan stays behind to confront Percy. In the chaos of the battle, Hanna gets singled out and is pursued by JBoy. She tries to run up one of the chains, but is shot from behind by JBoy's one-hit kill crossbow. She is badly injured and poisoned, the totem of undying that she used just barely keeping her alive. Glow knocks JBoy off the bridge and catches up to Hanna. He panics, apologizing, and Hanna weakly tells him that no matter what, they've got to keep going, even if that means leaving her behind.
You've gone through so much, I can't just let you go here!
They continue through Esterdale towards the beanstalk, Hanna getting worse and worse each moment. As they leave Esterdale, Hanna swears to get revenge on all those who wronged them. A cutscene plays, showing Hanna and Glow escaping from Esterdale and running into the wilderness. Hanna tries to lie to Glow, saying she's fine, even though she very obviously isn't. They continue on, Hanna growing weaker and weaker. Suddenly, she stops in the middle of a field, her vision blurring, Glow screaming out her name. And then, everything goes dark. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified when more content is released. It would also be amazing if you could share this video to people who might like our content as well. It takes a ton of hard work to make this project come to life, so I really appreciate your support. Also, a huge shout out to the super talented Crowhollow SMP cast. Make sure to check them out in the description of this video. And finally, I now have Crowhollow SMP merch, which you can find in the description along with the promo code for watching the whole video. Again, thank you all so much. It truly means a lot that you took the time to watch this, and I cannot wait for you all to see the future Crowhollow content coming soon. Have an amazing day, and see you all next time.